And of course, Chriselda continues to keep us abreast of developments at this funeral service. So let's cross to her now to find out what's happening this morning. Chriselda?
Right, Sakina and Leanne, this morning, Zoleka Mandela will be laid to rest. We're live now at the family home, the Mandela family home in Soweto. And this is where family members have already started arriving ahead of a short prayer service that will be held here at the home before the cortege leaves from here to the Bryanston Methodist Church. That is where a funeral service will be held. The church service will be held at the Bryanston Methodist Church. Before then, after that, she'll be laid to rest at the cemetery in Fourways, the Fourways Memorial Park. So here at the home, this is where that church service, a very short family service, will be held here this morning. You would recall that the body of Zoleka Mandela had arrived here at the home late yesterday evening, and that is where a night vigil was also held, where close family members as well as friends were in attendance. I want to bring in someone now who stood by the Mandela family for a very long time. You would recall at the time that Tatu Nelson Mandela was incarcerated during that 27 years. There were people who stood alongside Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela, who were providing a lot of counsel at the time where, you know, as they would say in Xhosa culture, there would not be a man of the house at the time. I want to bring in Tatu Lamla Jiyose, who is a part of the family relatives. Tatu Jiyose, thank you very much for your time. Certainly today, all of this hits home. Zoleka will be laid to rest. But talk to us a bit about the significance of, at the time, during that 27 years when Tatu Nelson Mandela was incarcerated, you were there when Zoleka was about 4 years old and the family was still living at the house in Vilakazi Street. What was it like at the time, in particular for the children and grandchildren like Zoleka who had to grow up under those conditions?
Thank you very much. Good morning to you and the viewers at home. It is correct that I met Zoleka when she was 4 years old. So we were staying at Vilakazi. It was not an easy period. Remember, the apartheid was so brutal during those days. She grew up under those very difficult conditions. But the only thing that I would remember about her childhood is that she was a very lovely child, a very good one. So we used to chat with her, so especially when they are coming from school. So I've been watching her up until she was an old child. So at least I know her, so because we've been together. But the conditions were really very bad because, remember, in those days, police used to come sometimes at night or in the early hours, waking up everybody, doing all sorts of things. You know, remember the trauma that Zoleka grew up under. So it was really a very bad period. But one thing I like about her, she was a very disciplined child. So whenever I met her, so there's something that we learn about her. Yeah, because she was interested in knowing that what is it that you are doing about this country? Is it the kind of freedom that you are fighting for? All those sorts of questions. Yes.
Tatu Jiyose, I'm afraid that's all we have time for this morning. Thank you very much indeed. We appreciate your time. Tatu Lamla Jiyose, who is one of the very close family relatives of the Mandelas, just outlining, you know, how Zoleka Mandela had grown up just right in front of his eyes, saying she is a very disciplined member of this family. As you will see, these are some of the visuals, some of the family members also arriving, some of the senior members of the family as well, just as part of the funeral procession. It seems is starting to arrive at the moment. So any time now we will expect then the hearse, which will carry the body of Zoleka Mandela from inside this house into the hearse, and it will move from here to the Bryanston Methodist Church. That is where the funeral service will get underway before she is laid to rest at the Fourways Memorial Park. We'll come back live to you once again. Once, as you can see there, just before you let me go, it certainly seems like we're about to move probably any minute now. All right, let's leave it there for now, and we'll come back to you at a later stage once the remains, the body of Zoleka Mandela, comes from inside the house and prepares for her final departure.